Hello, this is Michael Lodge. I am the business advisor, and I'm glad that you joined me this morning. I tell you, thank God it's Friday. It's a Friday, and it's a beautiful day out here in South Carolina. But it is also one of those days that I'm thinking. And in the back of my mind, I had some conversations this morning about money isn't everything. Um, that I talk a lot about business. Well, yeah, that's my job, is to talk about business. But one of the things that I'm very frustrated with is the status of where small business is going. We absolutely have no help from the federal government. We have no dollars or grants or programs that small businesses can really take advantage of. It's very difficult to get involved in the government programs that are out there. Small investors have decided to hold back and keep in their hands their money because they don't know what's going to happen with the economy. So we have all of these things going on. If you look at the bankruptcies for the first 9 months of 2023, we are at a little over 1,500 small business bankruptcies. That's more than the amount that happened in 2022. We are going to be, I have a guesstimate, we're going to be over the 2,000 mark by the end of 2023. I hate to see small businesses. I love to support small businesses, and I advise small businesses day in and day out. And I hear their stories, and I hear how they're struggling and how they can hardly make payroll and how they can barely scrimp by buying their goods and that they use in their stores or the services that they provide. Even myself, I'm a small business guy, and I've had to raise my rates because the amount of business coming in just is not the same amount. I mean, I'm getting quality clients, but I'm also getting clients that are unable to pay for 60, 90 days. They're just cash poor. So they make their payroll first, they make their rent payments, they make their tax payments, they make all of the most important payments that they need to make as a small business. But when it comes to companies like myself, who consult on a monthly basis to them or on a daily basis, we are the very last ones to get paid. So small businesses are cash poor. They're tight. They're trying to survive. Remember, they were shut down a good portion of the time during the pandemic. Then inflation started. Then they were hit by all sorts of different gadgets and gizmos and nonsense from the federal government. So they have been on their own trying to struggle. That's why I love these support your small business days. Those are vital. If you don't keep those small businesses going, they're the ones that contribute to your communities that you are involved in. What I have always said, to make a difference in this nation, you have to get involved in your community, which involves small businesses, which involves all of these different things that happen out within your communities. Look at the people who are supporting your local teams, your kids' teams, your pee-wee baseball and your pee-wee football and all these other things that are going on. It's small business who are really supporting these these groups, these community organized groups where moms and dads and brothers and sisters and children and grandchildren and grandparents, they all get involved in their community. So to make a difference in small business, you have to support your small business people. They're vital to our community. They keep our companies alive. They keep when there's a neighborhood parade going on, they're the ones that are sponsoring these things. They're the ones that are giving to the community gyms so that kids can go and play. So small business plays such an important aspect in your community. Government is not going to help. Government is not there to help small business. They never were, because government is in business to help themselves. Politicians are in it to help themselves. I honestly have gotten this feeling at the moment that there's not an honest politician out there. I've just come to that conclusion. But in our communities, we can make such differences by volunteering, by becoming tutors for kids in school, by donating to the local baseball team, or donating your coats to the local coat drives where people are cold and they need a coat for this winter. The people who need food during our Thanksgiving drive, where people are home alone and they don't have enough money to buy food for Thanksgiving. Listen, I spent my childhood at Thanksgiving time, just before Thanksgiving time and Christmas, walking around the neighborhoods in gathering, trying to get cans and goods and other types of food entities that we could give these people. There are so many people right next door to you that need your help. So in order to make a change, support your small business, support your local community outreach program, but get involved. I remember, and I love this part of the story of my life. Several years ago, Loma Linda University Church decided to tutor inner city kids. Now, at that time in San Bernardino, a lot of the gang activity had moved out to San Bernardino. San Bernardino used to be a beautiful community with big mansions and everything else. Then the city of San Bernardino said, okay, let's put in government housing. So they put it in. So everybody from the Los Angeles that was a gang member or some other entity came out and corrupted the neighborhoods of San Bernardino. San Bernardino finally had to declare bankruptcy. They went into a situation where they could no longer afford to keep things going. But what we did is we put a tutoring program. So students at Loma Linda University and family members and friends of the school and of the church, we took on one child per school season, and we tutored that child. Because remember, a lot of these children came from Hispanic homes where they spoke no English. Their mom and dad could not read or write English. So they could not help their kids in school. Big problem there. So we took them on as tutors, and we stayed with those kids, and we studied with them. And some of them right now have gone off. They graduated from college and they went off onto their lives, and they're donating back into the community that they were given their tutor when they were a kid. But that's how you get involved in your community, by thinking outside the box of how can I help? And let me tell you, small businesses help a lot. They're the ones where you drop canned goods off, or Toys for Tots. They are the ones that are there helping to drive interaction within the community. Many times I've gone into small. I remember as a kid, and I love this story. I used to go to this little drugstore, and it was up in Mount Tabor, Portland, Oregon. I had just gotten out of college. I wasn't really a kid, but yeah, I was a kid. I was a young kid. And there was a drugstore that I loved to go to because it's where everybody met in that neighborhood. And it had this countertop that you could sit down and you could order a hot dog. You could order the best milkshake that came in those cold metal canisters that they mixed the ice cream in. It was the best experience ever. But what I liked about it was I liked to sit there and listen to the stories that were told in the community. I had another good experience too. When my mom was passing away, she lived up in Pickens, South Carolina, which is a little tiny community. I think maybe 6,000 people, not very big. But they had a local Walmart, and that Walmart was a place where everybody went to shop because it was a tiny, tiny community. And people would go there and sit on the benches outside and talk to each other and gossip with each other and tell each other stories. Best experience ever. When my mom passed away, I was very touched because Walmart in Pickens sent my mom a beautiful bouquet of flowers. They had found out that she had passed away. She had been a steady customer there. She was part of the community, and they wanted to say goodbye. Now, when have you ever had Walmart do that in any other place except for a small community where the people care, where everybody knows each other going into the community, into Walmart, into the church, into the store? So I talk about this on this Friday only because I think we have lost the spirit of our local communities. We have become so hateful towards each other that when we sit down and talk, we don't literally sit down and talk. It's a sad situation, but we can change it. There's a way that you can do it. Get involved in your small business, get involved in your local communities, get involved in your local charities, get involved with your local kids, because they need you and you need them. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. And if you want to contact me in any way, right here is where you can go. Again, this is Mike Lodge. Everybody go out and have a great Friday. Talk with you soon. Bye-bye.